My best memory. I think now I know. So my best memory is like I think when I had a baby Eddie, like she took the time out to um, make a very nice pictures of him, and it was and those memories, like what she did, like for Easter, she sat him down with Easter eggs. For Valentine's, she did the same thing for him for Christmas, and she took the time out, and those memories, mean a lot to me. But I also remember, like, even coming home when we used to live in Whittier, her having dinner made, her always, rearranging my room to make it extra special and extra nice for me and the kids, and she always took time out to do special things for me and the kids.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I always tell her, I always remember her when cleaning, and she would lift up her shirt, tie it, and then put her pants underneath her belly button and dance like Madonna. That's always my favorite memory. And birthday parties. The Nicole and Aldrina used to tease me a lot. It was like them two against me. And I remember one time they made me cry, so I just came in and my mom just rubbed my back and said, "It's okay, I'll be your friend." So that's what I remember the most. So her rubbing my back, putting me to sleep. I was the big scaredy cat, so she would always let me sleep in the bed with her on thundery, stormy nights. My dad used to get so mad, but just everything. She just, even for my kids, once I started having, man, she's helped with so much. My kids would not have half the things they have if it wasn't for my mom. And I'm just very grateful. Everybody knows that my kids will always have what they need because of my mom. And just thank you, Mom, for everything. Love you. That's it.
Yeah, I remember growing up, specifically one of my earliest memories is in preschool where I would come home and we had this little desk, and I actually have the desk at my house now. We'd sit on the desk and she would help me with my homework. And for some reason, I always remember that, especially now when I'm, teaching the boys and stuff. I remember my mom was so attentive to me and to my needs, and at the time you don't realize how much it means to you, but I remember being excited about coming home and the opportunity to spend that time with my mom, and it really, I think, helped form the relationship that I have with my kids now.
My best memory is my mother's sacrifices that she made for me growing up. What I ended up doing when I was around about 11 or 12 is I started doing lawn mowing in the neighborhood, and ended up getting a few gigs across town where I was able to mow lawns and do weed eating for money, just different things that I had that I wanted to raise money for. And she was a big help. She would actually drive me across town, do a lot of the work for me. She would actually help me weed eat while I was mowing, and she never asked for money in return. She never asked for anything back. It was just sacrifices that she would make to help me kind of get to my end goal of what I was trying to do or make money. And it says a lot about a person when they make those sacrifices, because they're trying to instill values in you to teach you how to do things, but they're not asking for anything in return. And that's really the memory I have of my mother, is just sacrifice. That's all she would do, is just sacrifice. Never once asked for anything back. And she did it gladly. And that's one of the things I try to do now, is try to focus on the aspect raising my own kids of, helping them without any strings or conditions attached. It's, as a parent, you have to sacrifice. And that was what my mother really modeled for me. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So let me ask you again. So what's your special memory of your mom? You mentioned that she took time off when you were sick, you had earaches, and she took 3 days off. So
Yeah.
what was that memory like? I mean, if you look back and you could summarize that, what did she do? What do you think that was so special about it?
Her taking the time off of work, like the sacrifices, like you said, it really it was very helpful to me, because I'm sick, like earaches, like she didn't have to do that, is what I'm saying. And it really that's like very caring for me. Like I really love my mom. I don't, yeah.
Probably not something you say often enough, huh?
You're right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You can say it to the camera if you want.
Love you, mom.
That's cool. Cool. Short and simple. I like that.
Whenever we would go to my brother's basketball games and she would sneak in alcohol in the little Gatorade bottle and she would drink it and she would get drunk at the basketball game and just cheer really loud and crazy for my brother.
She do that in Vegas too, huh?
And in Vegas, yeah. Yeah.
Any other memories?
Uh,
Was it drunk?
I can't think of one. Just kidding. Oh. um,
Anything when you were younger that you remember?
I'm trying to think. Oh, like going whenever we were like when we were little, we'd always go every summer to Raging Waters. Her and my aunt and my we'd all go. She'd take us all, and then she'd pack lunch for us, and we would just hang out at Raging Waters all day.
So those are some of the memories that you remember the most?
Hmm?
Those are the memories you remember the most?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like little stuff like talking to her. She's like my best friend, so
You feel like there's a lot of things you can share with her that you probably wouldn't share with most people?
yeah.
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 Well, that's good. Most people don't have a best friend, especially their mother.
Yeah,
So,
I could tell her.
cool.
No, yeah, I have a couple to be honest. Probably like, well, she just honestly just does a lot for me. To be honest, she does a lot, and I'm really grateful for it. Like my basketball, like like she did all that for me, paid for everything. Like I'm grateful. Even for right now, she helped me out as much as she could. Like one great memory, I don't know, like we just like for my birthday go to Dodger games, just meeting her, just have a really good time, just talk to her.
You feel like that she's somebody that you can really talk to a lot?
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah, of course.
And a lot of people can't say that, obviously.
Yeah,
So,
I know. No, I'm really grateful though.
Yeah. Do you have any other memories like when you were little, or is it mostly your related?
No, yeah, when I'm little, like go to water parks with families, all that. Like, yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, she's.
Do you remember
really
anything
grateful.
particular at a water park, or like a specific memory that you had when you were little?
Oh, with like her?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. There's a bunch, but nah, she.
Give me one. Just give me one.
With
Good
her, good with me and her.
Yeah. At the water park.
Oh, not at a water park. It's probably like after my basketball, like once I'm all done once I'm all done with that, like the banquet for my senior year with basketball and all that. Like like me and her talk like for a bit. And probably it's probably another good memory. We talk about everything, how it all went and all that.
That memory is when I was starting school, probably like in the 3rd, 4th grade. Her bringing home clothes from the secondhand store and washing them and ironing them, and then she was making sure like they all fit. She tried them on, and I just thought that was so cool. These clothes came from the secondhand store. They were all dresses, and she ironed them and made them look really pretty.
How old were you at that time? Do you remember?
I was probably around 3rd, 4th grade, but I remember that really well. That was really nice. I really enjoyed trying those clothes on, and her taking her time washing them and ironing them and making them look nice.
Yeah.
And she was just a real loving mother. She loved her boys to death, and with me, I know she wanted to give me everything I wanted. Even though I was a little spoiled with her. Because of course I was her only girl. But
Were you the last one?
no, I was 3rd to the youngest.
Okay.
But yeah, and I just remember her just being really, really loving. She loved, like I said, she loved her boys. And she loved my dad's mom. She would have, I really wish that she was able to see her grandkids. She would have been a really awesome grandma. I know that was one thing she probably looked forward to. But yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job as a grandmother.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
you
you.
are. You
Thank
really
you.
are.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I love my grandkids.
do.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm excited for Aaron and Lexus and Daniel and Jacob to see how far they're gonna go, you know. And I'm really grateful for, you know, my kids as being parents. You know, you guys are doing an awesome job with the kids. You know, Nicole is being a single parent. You and Aldrina just you guys did really well. Like Troy was saying, you guys did really well for yourself and your kids. And Lena, you know, she's doing an awesome job with Aaron and the girls and Ruben, you know. I know he misses Darren a lot. We all miss Darren, but I think there'll be a time where we can all be together. And I can't wait. Yeah. And
I would say I used to run track in elementary school, and no matter what, if my mom would take off work early and to come to my track meets, and she'd always be there. I could always know that she will be there, you know. So that's one of the things that really comes to mind when you ask, you know, the impromptu question, you know, about one memory that really sticks to my mind, is that she was, no matter what, always come to my track meets. If I needed new sweats, she always had new sweats for me, you know, and so it was good. She always was my biggest cheerleader.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, so it was nice.
Something special about my mom?
Yeah.
Well, the one good thing about my mother, she was a good cook. She did the best she could for all of us. Wow, there's so many things. We had a hard time, I know, in those days. This was mainly in the middle 40s. I know it was kind of rough in those days. Living was kind of rough. That was kind of like during the Second World War. So it was just my mother and I. But as the years went by, then my brother and sister came along, and we were practically always by ourselves, but she was just always a good mother. She always just tried the best she could. Wow, so many things.
Yeah, so like it was really tough back then. She really made a lot of sacrifices.
She did a lot of sacrifice during those days. I know she took in a lot of washing and ironing. She had to during those days. I know during the Second World War, we had to live on those stamps that they gave out, tokens to buy like sugar and coffee. That's mainly the time that I remember. Mainly.
Yeah.
That was my mother and I.
Was it just the two of you for a while?
The what?
Was it just the two of you for a long time? Or
The
did
what?
you have other brothers and sisters?
When my brother and sister came in, it was, I took care of them for a while.
Yeah.
Because my brother's dad passed away. And then my sister's dad, he left us, and so it was the three of us. But then I was usually going to school, and I worked a lot to support them. So my mother did a lot of work and sacrificing. All I could say was that she was just a loving mother. She was the greatest. I just loved her to death.
Yeah, you sound very much like Linda, just her memories as well.
Right.
Of your wife, you know, her mother. Just nothing but love.
Yeah, she was just so. It's just not like her birthday or Mother's Day. Like I don't just go those special days to visit her to the cemetery. People don't know I go. There's other days I go, not just those 2 days, you know,
Yeah.
or holidays. I go visit her.
That's awesome.
Or even Linda's mom, I go visit her too, quite a bit. Linda's mom, she gave up a lot too for the kids. And she died at an early age. She was only 37 years old when she passed away.
Oh, wow.
And she sacrificed a lot for the kids. She always had them nice and clean. She always had food on the table. We did a lot. We always went camping. And I loved her to death. I could never find anybody else like her. I never could. I think about her a lot. I think about both of them a lot.
Sounds like you had a great wife and a great mother.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
They were. They were real. My mother cooked even after my wife passed away, Linda's mom. My mother used to take care of the kids while I worked, and she used to cook for them. Even when she used to come over the house and take care of the kids, my mother. And from Monday to Friday, and then I'd take her back home, take care of them and cook, and dress them up and take them to school,
Yeah, I see.
and make sure they went to school. But there's just so many things that she did. She was just like all mothers. You can't, mothers, they sacrifice so much. You just can't imagine what they do. The things that they do is getting up, dressing the kids, feeding them, bathing them, and the one main thing is giving birth. Wow, can you imagine that?
Some serious sacrifices.
It's 24/7, their jobs, and we take mothers for granted a lot of times, but their job is never ending, and this is always a special day for them. And the ones that do have their mothers, they should be grateful for having a mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having their mother, and if they have their mothers still here, they should cherish that.